Okay, we're going to look at how to do a two-way frequency table. So we're going to skip over exercise 1, move down to exercise 2. And exercise 2 shows a two-way frequency table, talks about 20 students and their hair color and eye color. And parts A and B, these two questions here and here, want us to use the numbers and the data to find the answers. So the first one says how many students have blonde hair and blue eyes. So you're going to want to look at the blonde column and the blue row, and where they meet is going to be your answer. So there's 4 students with blonde hair that have blue eyes also. And then for part B, it just asks about red hair. So we're going to use the hair color, the red column, and in that case, the total for that is this number down here, which is 4. So we're going to move on to part C. He's going to talk about finding the relative frequencies. So I'm going to start the table, and then I'm going to have you finish it on your own, and then have me check it when you get done. So for like the first one, it's the same chart as above. We're using the same chart, but what you want to do is take first off the total, which is 20. These are all going to be based on percentages. So for the total, you're going to have 1 or 100%. So what you're going to do in each box is you take the total, which was 20, and then put the number in the question for each box on the top. So you got 3 divided by 20. Take the calculator and divide it. So you just take your calculator, do 3 divided by 20, and then you get a decimal. And that decimal, again, would represent a percent. And like this, 0.15 would equal 15%. So I'll do one more. If you look at the next box, it says 4. So that one's 4 out of 20. And you take the calculator, put that in. 4 divided by 20. You get 0.20 or 0.2, which again, that would mean 20%. So go through and finish the rest of the table, and then call one of us over to check it. Alright, so look at exercise 3. We have the same table as we did in exercise 2, and the purpose of exercise 3 is to talk about, is there any types of associations or trends that happen when you have data? And what we're looking for are differences in the percentages. So if you look at part A, they're asking for what's the frequency, the relative frequency, if you have green eyes based on having red hair. So green eyes and red hair, in this case, if you have red hair, you'd use the red hair column. There's 4 total people, and of those 4, 3 of them have red hair. And in this case, if we divided this, it'd be 0.75, which would be 75%. Now, that's different with students that have black hair. So if you have green eyes and have black hair, looking at that column, we have 9 students with black hair, and only one of them had green eyes. So that would only be 0.11, and then the ones repeat. So we'll just round that, leave it as 0.11. So is there association? In this case, yes. Because we have people with red hair have a much greater chance of having green eyes. So the percentages are so different that we can make this assumption, because there's a, from 75% and 11%, there's a 64% difference between those values. The last one we're going to look at is exercise 4, and this one talks about 52 graduating seniors, and they want to know if there's a difference between 2 scenarios. Which one's more likely to happen? Someone going to college that's female, or someone who's female going to college. So the first phrase, I'm going to kind of box in here, that first phrase is going to be our focus of which row or column we're going to look at for the total. So someone going to college would be this row. And people going to college, it was 29. And the people that are female that are going to college, in this case, there's 13 of them. Now, opposite that, it says females going to college. So if we look at the female column, there are 22 females, and 13 of those females are going to college. So if we want to see which one's more likely, what you're going to have to do is take the calculator, and then you're going to go ahead and just divide out those fractions, get the decimal equivalents for those. So if you do 13 divided by 29, and we'll round to the nearest hundredth. So we'll call this one 0.45. And then we'll do 13 divided by 22, and that one gives us 0.59. So based on that, the one that's more likely is the one that says someone who is female that's going to college, because there's less female students for the total than there were students that went to college.